Were there members of YSL in the car with you?
Yes.
Who was in the car with you?
Shannon Jackson and I think D.
Tell me who did it. Tell the jury who did it.
You want me to tell your name? Like, I know D.
I do.
I know D.
Do you know his name?
I don't want to like get it mistaken or nothing. I'm
Tell
gonna
the
get
jury, to the best of your recollection, who D is.
his name is Demikian.
Demikian Darlington?
Yes.
Was he also known as 30 Deep D?
Yes, I guess so.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Now, did you know at the time who 30 Deep was?
Did I know who 30 Deep was?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I heard.
And who was 30 Deep or what was 30 Deep?
It was a neighborhood and
That's hearsay.
No.
I'm gonna overrule objection.
Thank you. You may answer.
a neighborhood in the Southside community.
30 Deep was a neighborhood?
It was, yes.
It was a neighborhood, okay. Was it also a gang?
I don't know if they went by being a gang.
What neighborhood was 30 Deep?
Mechanicsville.
And is it your testimony that when you say a neighborhood, what are you talking about?
Our area in Atlanta.
So 30 Deep was called, when you wanted to go a certain place, you would say, let's go to 30 Deep?
No.
So then, how is it a neighborhood? How are you calling it a neighborhood?
Objection, Your Honor, foundation. I'll sustain the objection. You may will lay a little more foundation, okay?
If you call 30 Deep a neighborhood, do you mean that it's a place?
Yes.
So based on that, if you wanted to go to the place where 30 Deep was, would you then say, let's go to 30 Deep?
I don't know how people will say that they'll go. Me? I wouldn't say that.
Why not?
I don't know. That's not like no. No, that's not a terminology I would use. I knew the area. Zone 3. I'd probably say, let's go to a different part of Zone 3.
So then, when you said that 30 Deep is a place, a neighborhood, and it's not something you ever refer to as that place, where are you getting from that it's a neighborhood or a place?
Because that's where it was known out of the area.
They, who is the they that you're referring
The
to?
30 deep that you the 30 deep.
So 30 Deep is a group of people.
Yeah.
It's a gang?
I don't know.
But Demikian Darlington was 30 Deep.
Yes.
Was
Sustain.
Demikian Darlington 30 Deep?
That was his Instagram handle. Yes.
How often would you say that you associated with Demikian Darlington?
Rarely.
How often?
Rarely, I'm sorry. Rarely.
How often did you associate with Jeffery Williams?
Often, a lot,
Did you also associate with Walter Murphy?
often,
How often did you associate with Shannon Stillwell?
often.
Now, when you were speaking about on the way to the compound, you talked with YSL members. What did you all talk about in the car?
I never said we had a car conversation.
What did you talk about on the way to the compound?
That we was gonna continue club hopping until all the clubs gone. Till all the clubs closed. It's my birthday, we celebrate.
What time did you all set out to celebrate?
There wasn't no initial celebration time. The whole day was a celebration.
Were you all at clubs the whole day?
Yes,
What clubs had you gone to before the compound?
I think Magic City.
And did you go directly to the compound from Magic City?
We went to a lot of different clubs. That was like 10 years ago. I can't recall the exact movements, but I know we went to a lot of different clubs.
Did you go to the studio? Any studio before the compound?
No,
Did you go to the studio after the compound?
I don't recall. I don't know. I think I was trying to get home to my girl after the club. I don't recall.
Did you talk with anyone in particular on the way to the compound?
I don't recall.
While you were in the car with Dee and Shannon, and incidentally, you said Shannon Jackson. Is Shannon Jackson in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Would you please tell the jury where he is?
In the far back with brown and the glasses on.
Is he seated next to a gentleman with white hair and a gentleman with no hair?
Yes.
Your Honor, if the record would reflect that the witness has identified Shannon Stillwell.
It's shot.
Thank you. Okay, so how long were you in the car with Shannon and Dee on the way to the compound?
However long it took to get from one club to the next one.
Okay, so could you give the jury an estimate?
Roughly 20, 30 minutes, I don't know.
Whose car were you all in?
It was a rental car, my rental car.
A rental car?
Yeah,
Who's driving?
I was.
Who rented it?
I did.
Where'd you rent it from?
Not from an initial rental company. It was from like an owner of the vehicle.
Okay. What kind of car was it?
It was a Mercedes-Benz.
During the 20 or 30 minutes that you were in the car with Shannon and Dee on the way to the compound, what did you all talk about?
I'll award rejection.
You may.
I don't recall too much talking. I ain't gonna lie, I was smoking weed and drinking liquor. It was my birthday, I was celebrating.
Was everybody in the car smoking weed and drinking liquor?
I was,
And you were the driver?
yes.
So how did smoking weed and drinking liquor, how does that affect your ability to remember today what happened that night?
How did smoking weed and drinking liquor affect?
But the better question is, you said you were smoking weed and drinking liquor. Does that have any kind of significance in your testimony today while I'm asking you questions?
So, from my understanding, your initial question was, did you guys have conversations or were you talking to each other on the way? And my response was, that basically I was vibing, listening to music, smoking weed, and drinking liquor. So I don't recall any like exact conversations.
Not exact. Do you recall any parts of what you all were talking
I don't recall.
So did the smoking weed and drinking liquor, is that what impaired your ability to recall today?
Objection, Your Honor, this is 8 years ago.
Your Honor, I
Remember, I told him no speaking, okay? What's the basis for relevance? What is it? Okay, all right, okay, I'm gonna sustain the objection.
Salute squad. Welcome to Fly High Productions with Mr. Follow Up. Man, this little trial, Herbie, this whole case has had its ups and downs. But I paused it and bear with me, y'all. I didn't want to hold it because I know I'll forget. But my man, I don't think he want to. I don't think he want to play that game with a lawyer. Like, and she got it documented, and he going off on just his thoughts. Like he tried to backtrack uh, a couple of questions, but he say, "You asked me if I ever see that's a game that you don't want to play with that lawyer." I mean, it's obvious what you thinking in your head is coming out your mouth. That part you should have kept in and played off of that. However, whatever. As I said, it's Mr. Follow Up. Salute squad. Welcome to Fly High Productions. We're gonna let the young man here speak. And tell me this. Do y'all ever think Jeffrey Williams ever come home? With the lawyer requesting to meet mistrial so many times and looking like it should have been a mistrial. With all the puzzles and pieces that go together in this trial. Do y'all believe Jeffrey Williams coming home? Young Thug, will he be cleared of this RICO case? Put it in the box. Let us know over here at Fly High Productions how y'all feel. Put it in the comments box and we'll rap about it later. Let's go.
Your Honor, with the court's indulgence, I have a follow-up question that relates to that prior question that I was.
Let's get to it.
So does, if smoking weed and drinking liquor kept you from remembering today certain things, how is it that you were able to recall the length of time that you were inside the compound yesterday?
I never said that smoking weed or drinking liquor had me forget what I was saying. I said I recall smoking weed, drinking liquor, and vibing out to the music. That's what was my answer.
So now my question is, did smoking weed and drinking liquor affect your ability to remember things from that night?
The length of years ago that this particular thing we're talking about is the reason.
I'm asking about the smoking weed and drinking liquor.
No.
So how is it that you remembered the 30 minutes you were in the compound?
Because very familiar with the Atlanta area. I grew up here, I'm born here, and I know how much time it takes to get from one place to another.
No. Yesterday, I talked about how long you said you were inside the compound. Do you remember how long you told the jury you were inside the compound?
Yes.
And how long was that?
When I say about 30 to a half hour, yeah. Something.
So how do you remember that you were inside the compound for about 30 minutes?
No, I'm gonna overrule, that was Mr. Steele. I'm overruling the objection, sir.
I remember that by being upset about the amount of money that I paid to get in and the length of time that I spent being in the party.
And you said you spent $500 to get in?
Sustained.
Do you remember how much money you told the jury that you spent to get in yesterday?
Yes.
I sustain the objection.
So was that all of your birthday money?
Overruled.
I don't remember how much money I had on me.
Was that also because of the length of time that it's been?
Yes.
Do you consider $500 a lot of money or not a lot?
Overruled.
$500 is a lump sum of money.
That's a lot.
You can pay a bill with $500.
I agree, but you consider it a lot of money.
Anything you can pay a bill with, that's a lot of money.
So, did you plan to spend that lot of money that night on the compound?
Overruled. Remember what I told you, one at a time.
I didn't make any plans. I just planned on enjoying myself for the night.
Did you know prior to going the cost of getting into the compound?
No,
Did you know prior to going how long the artist Lil Wayne was going to be at the compound?
no,
And when you got to the compound, did you ask whether or not Lil Wayne was still performing inside the compound?
I'm sorry, did you say that you because I can't hear you?
Overruled, sir.
did I ask anyone? No,
Did you try to find out in any way whether he was still performing?
no,
So when you get up to the compound and you're in the car with Shannon and Dee, what do Shannon and Dee do when you go up to the door, the entryway to the compound?
I don't know.
Foundation,
Oh, I'll stay in the objection.
I don't
Oh,
recall.
hold on.
Oh, my bad.
Hold on. Let her pose another question to you, okay? All right.
Does Shannon and Dee go to the door of the compound with you?
I don't recall.
Is your inability to recall for any reason in particular?
The length of time it was ago, it was a long time ago. I don't remember everything step by step that happened that night, so no.
Do you remember how you got home?
Yes,
How'd you get home?
I drove
What did you drive?
to Mercedes-Benz.
Was there anyone in the car with you?
I don't remember step by step.
How do you remember who you came with, but don't remember who you left with?
That was a long time ago.
Did you communicate with any other YSL members while you were at the compound? Not on the way, but while you were at the compound?
I recall telling, I'm finna go in the club.
Did you communicate with any other YSL members any more than to say the words, I'm about to go into the club?
That's the only thing I recall.
Do you recall members of YSL saying anything to you without telling the jury what they said?
I don't recall.
Did you tell us yesterday whether Jimmy Winfrey was one of the YSL members that went with you to the compound as a group?
No,
And was Jimmy Winfrey one of the YSL members that went to the compound?
he was there, yes.
Do you remember what he was driving?
It was a long time ago.
Is that a yes or a no?
It was a long time, oh no,
I'm sorry?
no,
And Walter Murphy, the Walter Murphy that you spoke about associating with Ogden, was Walter Murphy one of the YSL members at the compound?
so it was a large group. I don't recall everyone who was with us from the length of time ago it was.
Understanding that you may not recall every single person, my only question right now is, do you recall whether Walter Murphy was one of the people, one of the YSL members at the compound?
No, I don't recall from the length of years ago it was.
So, do you recall what time you left the compound?
I don't recall.
Do you recall exactly where you went after the compound?
I don't recall.
When you spoke yesterday about the thing that you were not involved with, and that you clarified as Lil Wayne bust you, where were you when that happened?
I don't know the exact time that it happened, so I don't know where I was.
What do you know about it?
Other than what I heard and seen, nothing.
What did you see?
I seen on the internet the artist had his butt shot.
Did you join up with any other YSL members after you left the compound?
I don't recall.
Can you tell the jury how it is you recall that you all went to the compound as a group, but don't recall whether you all left together?
Overruled. Can I tell the jury one more time?
Can you tell the jury how it is you remember you all went to the compound as a group, YSL, but you can't recall whether you left or who you left with?
No, I cannot explain it to the jury.
And you tell the jury what you talked about, if anything at all, with YSL members after you left the compound?
No, I don't recall.
Did you call Jimmy Winfrey at the time, Jimmy?
No.
What'd you call him?
Roscoe.
Is Roscoe the same person known as Pee Wee Roscoe?
Yes.
Did you ever wear any articles of clothing that said Free Roscoe?
I don't recall.
Did you ever see YSL members wearing shirts that says Free Roscoe?
If I'm not mistaken,
That's a yes or a no, please, and then you can explain.
I was trying to answer the question.
So I can't give you a yes or no because I think that I was in prison at the time.
At what time, sir?
I think I was in prison at that time and he was locked up, if I'm not mistaken, or in jail.
So do you know when it is that you went to prison?
Yes,
When?
in 2015.
What part of 2015?
I don't remember the exact dates.
So, understanding that you believe you were in prison at the time Jimmy Winfrey was locked up, my question to you is a slightly different. Do you recall seeing YSL members wearing merch or shirts with Free Roscoe on?
I don't recall.
Are you aware of the existence of YSL merch that says Free Roscoe?
I don't recall. That was a long time ago, man.
Do you know why or what it was that Roscoe was locked up for when that Free Roscoe merch came out?
Concerns facts not in evidence.
I sustain the objection. You can refer it now.
Are you aware of the Free Roscoe merch?
You should tell me that.
I'll sustain the objection.
When you spoke about Roscoe, when you said that you believe you were in prison at the time Roscoe was locked up, how do you know what time Roscoe was locked up?
I don't.
Then why do you believe you were in prison at the time Roscoe was locked up?
Because of the allegations happened in 2015, and that's when I went to prison in 2015.
I'm sorry, I don't know what allegations you're talking about, so could you please tell us
So the initial incident,
what initiatives?
Mr. Follow Up here. Now, y'all remember me saying that's a game that he don't want to play with her, right? Now, she done went 10 questions back on him to bring him all the way back up because she's frustrated at the fact that he don't recall. So she went all the way around that bush, and now she at his back door. But let's see what's gonna happen to her next.
that you're speaking about.
I'm just asking about Roscoe, Free Roscoe. So what are you talking about?
You asked no
No word.
to your question.
Since I just asked you what you were talking about, how is no the answer to that?
To your initial question.
Which question is that you're considering my initial question?
You asked me, did I know when Roscoe was locked up?
So once again, what incident is it that you're talking about when you made reference to the initial incident just now?
The incident surrounding the tour bus shooting.
What?
The incident surrounding the tour bus shooting?
Are you talking about the Lil Wayne bus shooting?
Yes.
What does that have to do with when Roscoe was locked up?
You asked me, did I know when I was locked up? Did I know when he was locked up? I think that was the question.
My only question is, what does the Lil Wayne bus shooting have to do with when Roscoe was locked up?
I don't know. I got from the question that you was initially talking about the incident. So I didn't understand.
So what I'm asking you is, why did you bring up the Lil Wayne bus shooting when I was asking you about Roscoe being locked up?
Sir, I'm gonna, you ask, he's asking, he's answering questions, and that's
Remember, what's your base for the objection, Mr.
asking it.
Matthews? All right, I'll sustain that objection.
Was Roscoe locked up for shooting up the Lil Wayne bus?
Yes,
And Roscoe is a member of YSL, is that right?
yes,
And is that the same Roscoe that went to the compound with you all as a group, with YSL as a group?
yes.
And was the whole gang of YSL as big a Lil Wayne fan as you talked about yesterday?
I sustain objection.
Who all was it?
I sustain objection already. All right, you need to
I'm asking a
rephrase
different
that.
question.
Okay.
Thank you. Would you tell the jury what members of YSL that went with you in this group to the compound were actual fans of Lil Wayne?
Gentlemen, I'd like to call for speculation.
How many times? Okay, look. One at a time, please. Well, if you see somebody else to rise, you should rise when you make an objection anyway, so we can see you. Because Miss Weaver can't take down this, and she told you that yesterday. So if somebody else doesn't make an objection, and somebody else can rise and make a timely objection, but I have to acknowledge you for the purposes of taking this down. I can't take down 3 people at once, so I'm not going to do that. So, Mr. Matthews, since you made the objection, I've ruled upon it. Do you have a separate objection, sir, Mr. Sharp?
I didn't hear rule about this speculation. I didn't hear this.
Listen up, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, you may rephrase me.
Do you remember talking about being a fan of Lil Wayne yesterday?
Yes,
And do you remember telling the jury why it is that YSL went to the compound?
yes.
What today is your memory of what you told the jury about why YSL went to the compound?
Your Honor, I'm going to object.
Basis.
It's a big question. YSL is not in person.
Overruled, sir.
Your Honor, may I impose objection?
Yes, you may.
403, Your Honor.
Overruled. Overruled, sir.
So I never said anything about anyone being a fan. I said that was an inspiration to the start of the music career. I said he inspired the music career, and I said he was an idol.
Okay, before we get into everything you said, let me make sure I heard you. Did you say you never said anyone was a fan?
I said that he inspired the music career.
Just now I'm talking.
Yes,
You just say that you never said anybody was a fan.
I don't recall saying that.
Okay, to your knowledge, was any YSL member a fan of Lil Wayne at the time that you all went to the compound as a group on your birthday?
I don't know. There are likes and dislikes. I know mine.
And were you a fan?
Yes.
And so, was it you then who convinced YSL to go to the compound where Little Wayne was performing?
So my initial thing of the whole night was celebrating my birthday, and it wasn't even a thing for everyone to say, hey, let's go here or something. That's what I wanted to do, and that's what I did. So being in communication of like, there was never, no one said, let's go here. That's what I want to do for my birthday, and that's what I did.
And did anyone, any YSL members have anything to say about your decision to go see Lil Wayne at the compounds?
I didn't converse that with anyone. It was what I wanted to do, so I did what I wanted to do.
So how did you all manage to go as a group? If you didn't talk about it?
Maybe that was on some of their minds already to go to that club. I don't know.
I want to back up a little bit to something you said a moment ago that referenced what you testified about yesterday. Yesterday, do you recall telling the jury how you all came up with the name Young Slideline?
Yes.
And today, what is your memory of how you all came up with Young?
No objection, ask me.
I'm overruled the objection, sir.
Today, what is your memory?
Today was my memory.
Your Honor, I object to whispered.
Yeah, I hear that as well, so stop it. If you're talking loud, I can hear you as well. Please don't do that.
So today, what is your memory of how you all came up with the name Young Slideline?
A passion for music. Coming up with a name for the music group.
And why would you all, as 3 founding members, choose the word slide?
Because I often listen to Wayne music. We often listen to Wayne music.
Tell the jury, and this was this pre-2014
Was
that you all formed YSL?
Yesterday I answered that question with, I don't recall the initial date, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm asking you today,
And I got the
do
same,
you remember the year?
I don't recall.
Do you remember telling the jury approximately when it was formed?
If I'm not mistaken, I said that I don't recall.
Do you remember me showing you State's Exhibit 10 Uniform Bravo? And I can put it up on the screen. Can we get sharing capability, Mr. Kern? And that is 10 Uniform Bravo. Would you go there? Do you remember seeing that exhibit yesterday and talking about it with the jury?
Yes.
And
Excuse me.
do you remember referencing the date of October 12th, 2014, while you were talking about it?
Yes.
Do you remember telling the jury that YSL was founded at least before that date?
I think I said I don't recall the initial date of it being started.
While I'm not asking you the exact date, are you able today to tell the jury whether YSL began before October the 12th, 2014?
No, I can't answer that. I don't.
Even while looking at an IG post,
So you asked me,
saying him and I, the founders of YSL, so brilliant, photo by Thugger 31, posted on October 12th, 2014?
but I stated that I didn't recall.
Okay. So even looking at that, you don't remember whether YSL was formed?
Hold on. What's the basis?
Objection, leading your honor.
I sustain the objection.
Does looking at this refresh your memory, whether it was formed before that date or not?
No,
Are you able in any way to explain why you would be calling yourself Original Science Line _ Slug and be called a founder of YSL on a date October the 12th, 2014?
no, I can't explain it.
And are you now stating to the jury that you can't give them any time frame when YSL was formed?
Objection, leading.
Same objection.
Can you give the jury any time frame whatsoever?
No,
Would you explain how you're able to remember the inspiration for a name and not remember any time frame about when the inspiration came about?
no, I can't explain it.
Are you willing to offer one?
No,
Do you recall, as part of your agreement with the state, and I believe, since they're here, I'm gonna pull it out. Can you give me a copy of that?
One key. One.
16 uniform, thank you. Do you recall me showing you 16 uniform yesterday?
yes,
And do you recall as part of 16 uniform in section number 3, would you please tell the jury what section number 3 is called?
special conditions of sentence.
And would you please read verbatim what section B, Bravo, of number 3 says?
Defendant shall testify truthfully about all matters relating to this case upon which he is questioned at any trial or judicial proceeding stemming from the facts alleged in this indictment.
And you understand that that is what you have obligated yourself to
Objection,
do?
leading.
Do you
I sustain the objection, Mr. Swan.
understand that that is what you obligated yourself to do?
Yes,
Today, as you remember it today, did anyone make you sign this?
no,
And yesterday, you said something about being pressured. Who was it that, if anyone at all, did someone pressure you?
My-
Object to that question.
Basis.
403, 163.
Overruled, sir. Overruled, sir.
my words, if I'm not mistaken, they wasn't pressured. I think it was like persuaded.
Do you recall who it is that you're talking about? when you say persuaded?
Yes.
And when you say persuaded, what is it that you're using that word in reference to?
Telling me what that person who's doing it, that person who is doing the persuasion, persuading me that this is in my best interest.
And so, did you agree with the person that told you it was in your best interest?
It wasn't did I agree or disagree matter, because I hired that person to tell me what's in my best interest. So I don't feel like there was a agree or disagree matter.
Did the court tell you anything about whose choice it was to enter into any kind of agreement like this?
Yes.
What was it that the court told you, as you remember today?
That is my choice. To make, yeah.
Did you understand what the court said?
Yes.
And what did you understand it being your choice to mean?
That it should come from me.
Did the court say anything to you about whether or not it could be your attorney's choice?
No.
Did the court make clear that it had to be your choice and not your attorney's choice?
Yes.
Did you understand that?
Yes.
So, did you agree with what your attorney said about entering into this agreement being in your best interest?
Yes.
And did you have an opportunity to correct things that you saw were incorrect as part of this agreement?
Yes.
And did you make corrections when asked to agree or disagree with parts of this document?
Not these initial questions. So I was given 2 sets of questions. I received those questions on the 27th.
Were
And
changes made to the initial sets of questions that you were given?
the first set of questions,
Yes, were changes made from the time you were given the initial set to the time you were given the final set?
yes, it was a complete change.
And were those changes reflective of conversations you had had with your attorney who then conversed with the state?
Hold on. What's my changes? One more time, I'm sorry.
Did the final document reflect changes that you discussed with your attorney, who then conveyed that information to the state?
Yes, but without my permission, I didn't tell her to do that.
So the yes part, is the yes part to my question about whether it reflected the changes that you talked about?
Yes,
Okay, so the final document is reflective of changes that you discussed with your attorney. Is that an accurate statement?
can you break down the question more for me?
when you first saw the set of questions given to you, and by questions, are you talking about any particular part of this document or the whole document? Y'all let me look at it. When you say the initial set of questions, which questions on that document are you talking about?
Is this the initial set of questions?
This is 16 uniform. And you said, as I recall, that 16 uniform isn't the set of questions that you initially saw.
Yes.
Okay. So on 16 uniform, would you please point out the area that has changes from what you initially saw?
So I said all the questions were different.
All of them?
Yes, from my understanding.
So the current charges, was that section different?
No.
So
So that's what you're asking. I understand what you're asking now.
So we'll go over it. Was the negotiated sentence, was that section different?
I didn't even see
Still, on.
That's evidence rules since we're comparing two documents. I don't have that other document.
Your Honor, he is referenced.
I think he's just referencing conversation, so I'm gonna overrule your objection, Mr. Steele. Unless there is another document that was,
No, Your Honor,
okay,
this is something that.
then I'll overrule the objection, sir.
This, and to be clear, so that the record is clear, the witness has testified about something that I'm now asking him.
Objection to speaking.
I'll sustain the objection. Just go ahead and ask the question, madam.
So,
Was section 3, the special conditions, were those different?
so
Just, if you don't mind indulging me, were those different?
I didn't even see this. Me and my attorney went over the initial set of questions on via the call box in the jail. I didn't even see any of these papers. She was just reading and talking to me. I didn't see any papers.
Okay. Did she go over the factual acknowledgments with you?
No, it was just the questions.
What questions are you talking about?
They're not here.
So, is it your testimony that none of the factual acknowledgments, none of section 4, have you seen any of section 4 before you signed the paperwork? And not on this physical document, but any of it before you got into court and signed it?
Are you saying from these set of questions or the initial set of questions? I thought we were talking about the initial set of questions. Because
I'm asking you.
Basis. I'm overrule the objection, madam.
I'm asking you whether it's your testimony that you have never seen on any medium or ever heard any of the questions or any of the statements under section 4, not necessarily on this piece of paper.
It's compound. Compound question. Why don't you just break
Have you
it down
ever-
a little shorter?
Yes, Your Honor. Before you sign this document, had you ever seen or heard any of the questions in defendant's factual acknowledgments? Here, I'll let you go.
defendant factual knowledge. All right. So, up under defendant's factual acknowledgements.
I don't need you to read them, but.
I'm answering the, I'm not reading, I'm answering the question.
Okay, just tell me a number. Tell me the number of the questions that you had never seen before you signed that document. Never seen or heard.
Tell you a number. I'm confused. I'm sorry, I'm confused.
Can you just read to yourself did you read the document? when you
Yes.
signed it?
Yes, so I hope that this can answer the question. I seen this paper, the 28th and the 29th. I hope that can answer your question. I seen this paper, this whole entirety of this paper. My first time seeing this whole entirety of this paper was the 28th and the 29th.
That paper, does it have a DA seal at the top?
Yeah, what's a seal? Like a heading or something? Yes.
And that document, is it dated?
Yes.
What's the date?
December 20th, 2022.
And the question that I'm asking you specifically is not about the physical piece of paper in front of you. It's about, and you have to tell me, do you understand the question I'm asking? It's about the questions and statements under defendant's factual acknowledgments, just the statements themselves. Do you understand what I'm asking you?
You finished with the question?
I'm asking you, are you able to tell the jury which of those statements, if any, you saw for the very first time, or you heard for the very first time, the day you signed that physical paper?
I seen.
Hold on, sir. Yes, Mr. Chair, what's your objection? What's your objection?
The form of the question is no boundary
I
line.
sustain the question. You can rephrase, madam.
Was the day that you signed this paper the first time anyone ever talked with you about question or acknowledgement number one?
Yeah, I signed the paper. No.
Was the day that you signed that paper the first time anyone had ever talked with you about acknowledgement number two?
No.
Was the day that you signed that paper the first time, and let me be clear, read acknowledgement number one again.
Defendant Young Slime Light, aka YSL, is an organization made up of 3 or more members or associates who share common identifiers that include but are not limited to colors, hand symbol, terminology, who have committed crimes and intend to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL.
Okay, and what is number two again?
Defendant is one of the founding members of Young Slime Light.
And number three is the day you signed that paper, the first time anyone ever talked with you about acknowledgement number three.
No.
What about acknowledgement number 5? Would you read acknowledgement number 5?
When asked by law enforcement about defendants YSL and Rock Crew Tattoo, defendants truthfully advised law enforcement that defendant is a member of a gang called Rock Crew, but that group is no longer going by that name and now goes by YSL, which originally stood for Young Slime Life.
Is the day that you signed this paper that you have in front of you the first time anyone had ever talked with you
No.
about
No.
statement number 5 that you just read?
No.
Go down to statement number 9. Would you read statement number 9 under defendant's factual acknowledgments?
Defendant is a person referred to as Tick in a song by Young Thug entitled Ill. In the verse, she getting robbed by Tick.
Is the day that you signed this paper the very first time anyone talked with you about statement number 9 under defendant's factual acknowledgments?
No.
Now, would you read statement number 10 under defendant's factual acknowledgments?
On February 4th, 2021, defendant participated in a group chat with fellow YSL founder, Jeffery Williams, aka Young Thug, and YSL associate, One Elite, aka Slime Life Shawty, wherein Jeffery Williams stated YSL rule the world, kid. Y'all just started bringing me the money. Man, y'all stop playing with me.
Was the day that you signed, let me see, are your initials next to statement number 10?
Yes.
Did anyone force you to put your initials there?
No.
was the day that you put your initials there, the very first time anyone talked with you about statement number 2?
No.
Now, who is Mooney Lee? How often, or did you associate with Mooney Lee? Let's start there.
Yes.
And going to statement number 11, are your initials next to statement number 11?
Yes.
Did anyone force you to put your initials there?
No.
Would you read for the jury statement number 11?
On May 13th, 2021, defendant participated in a group chat with fellow YSL founder Jeffery Williams, aka Young Thug, and YSL associates Martinez Arnold, Miles Farley, Quintavious Greer, Antonio Sumner, and Winnie Lee, wherein Jeffery Williams asked y'all ain't beat him up or shot him yet, then states y'all getting soft.
Was the day that you signed State Exhibit 16 uniform the very first time anyone spoke with you about statement number 11?
No.
Let's look at statement number 12 under defendant's factual acknowledgements. Would you please read statement number 12?
The gas station at 151 Cleveland Avenue is a location where YSL associates sell drugs.
Are your initials next to statement number 12?
Yes.
Did anyone force you to put your initials there?
No.
Is the date that you signed State 16 uniform the very first time anyone spoke with you about statement number 12?
No. Ms. Love, can we pause just a second? I think our jurors need to take a comfort break. So we're going to pick up at this point in time. So we're going to be in recess about maybe 5-10 minutes and we'll come back. Okay? All right. All rise for our jury.